Hello and welcome to the Tome of Worms podcast, a podcast about all things board gaming. My name's Minty and I'm the host. Sitting across from me, the old man, my co-host, Pops. How you doing today, mate?
Oh, good. I'm alright. Took me 3 weeks to get up.
It's going to take you that long to read some of these instruction booklets in these games.
You're suggesting that I can read?
What, two dyslexic running the podcast, what could possibly go wrong?
Exactly. Tome of Dyslexic Worms. What are we doing today? What are we talking about?
So today is about us.
Me? No one wants to know about me.
You and me, to find out, people can work out from this episode whether they want to listen to us talk or not.
Yeah.
Today's episode will be learning a little bit about us. I've got some questions for us to go through. So people can learn what we know about games, what we don't know about games.
Well, because I'm the old man, do you have you age restricted them?
Oh,
am I going to know, or am I going to be too old for this stuff?
The quiz that we have coming later on is old games. Don't worry about that one.
Oh, brilliant. Snakes and ladders, here we go.
So this episode will be a little bit different. This one will be just, like I said, learning about us. From then on, we're going to be doing some deep dives into games, and learning how they play, going through them, our kind of reviews. Obviously, everything's going to be our opinion.
Yeah, don't take that as gospel.
No,
we know fuck all.
PG, man, PG.
Slap on the wrist.
But yeah, so we're going to do that. We'll do small reviews on games. There's going to be a few special episodes, as Pops over there is quite new to board gaming, I understand.
Yeah, I suppose I started playing when I was younger, like as most people do, playing Monopoly and all that kind of jazz. I noticed you've got Dad's Army, so I feel like I'd fit in.
That's one of the games on my shelf that has never been played.
Well, I think we will do, and then I could be one of the old boys from Dad's Army, couldn't I?
It's your level, is it?
I'm about the right age. But yeah, I kind of started off with things like Monopoly, and as everyone does. And remember, I had a really, I wouldn't say it was a fake version of it, but it was Only Fools and Horses. But not the Only Fools and Horses you can buy now.
Well, no, they changed, didn't they? I mean, I remember having a France 98 Monopoly.
Yeah.
That had a mini Jules Rimet trophy in it. And then when I went to go and try and find another one for a World Cup, it was just called World Cup. So it was just countries. It didn't have a title. That one was France 98.
Yeah, so they'd obviously brought the naming rights for that one, or
it's like
whatever.
I've got a classic Star Wars one, whereas some of the Star Wars ones now are like The Force Awakens or...
Yeah, it's going to be into popular culture about what people are interested in now. Like, look at the Monopoly of... every town and city's got one now by the
pretty much,
sound
yeah.
of it.
Even Chernobyl.
Saw
really? That the other day, yeah. I mean, you've got quite an eclectic mix of Monopolies. I remember I gave you a build your own Monopoly.
I was going to make a black metal Monopoly.
Black metal Monopoly.
It never happened.
No.
But then I did get a Photoshop file that I could create my own.
Ooh.
So when I can afford Photoshop, I'll probably make one.
I think we should definitely tell the listeners about your latest Monopoly purchase.
DPD?
DPD Monopoly. That hasn't made the table yet.
It hasn't made the table, but I do like the concept where I go around and build distribution centres. Instead of buying hotels and renting them out, I'm going to become a logistical mogul. I'm going to make all this money.
Working in logistics, you won't make that much money.
And you would know.
Yeah. So we kind of hit on the first question there, really, didn't we? What do you remember of games as a youngster?
See, my games were very limited, I guess. Monopoly, that was it.
Monopoly was one for us as well, really. Cluedo.
Cluedo, we had a really old version of it where the cards were moth-eaten.
Yeah, and they fell apart every time you touched them.
Yep, and the rope was stinky.
Was it an actual rope?
It was an actual piece of rope, yes, back in the day.
We had one of those.
I don't know if it still is.
No,
is it just a bit of string now?
It's plastic.
Oh. Save the whales.
Yeah, we did the same. Monopoly, Cluedo. My parents, well, my mum, we always did a thing at Christmas where she'd let us buy a board game every year, and that'd be our Christmas Day activity.
Mm-hmm.
So they were like, do you remember Sorry?
Oh God, yes. The family fun game.
Yeah. One year we had that. We had the Game of Life.
Yeah.
That was always fun. And then Payday
Was always
was
pretty
another
fun.
one. And then as we got older, it turned into, what were they called? Seen It. When
Like the
DVDs came
DVD
along,
scene,
yeah.
I think that they were just. I'd struggle to class them as a board game.
Yeah, I mean, it's just a quiz. It's just a trivia quiz game, isn't it? I mean, Trivial Pursuit was always one, but when you're young, you can't really.
Oh, I do like Trivial Pursuit now.
I like trivia, but we've got a Disney one that I play with my daughter.
Yeah, I'd fail with that.
It's DVD. That's the problem. All the ones we have are DVDs, so it's easier for her.
If it's a Trivial Pursuit from the 90s, I'd be alright.
What was it called? The Master copy or something. We had one of them.
I played that in an Airbnb once.
I left my copy in the crew room.
Oh,
At our old place of work.
at the old theatre.
Yeah.
No names.
No names here. We don't need to go into that. But yeah, I mean, those were the games that we played. I mean, we can move on a little bit there. Like school. I mean, you're slightly older than I am.
Yeah, we still had the cane and lift up desks when I was at school.
Were you still rolling the hoop round with a stick?
Yes, that was our game at school.
Yeah.
And then we had like snakes and ladders painted on the floor.
Painted on the floor where you had to be the counter.
Yes, but my maths and being dyslexic is pretty bad that I couldn't count.
What did you use as a dice?
You just roll around on the floor and hold your fingers up, wouldn't you?
See how far you could roll before throwing up. Yeah, like I said, like it's a bit different. We had Pokemon cards. That was our main one.
They definitely didn't exist. Well, if they did, weren't.
I don't know, what year did you leave school?
What, primary school or high school?
Primary school.
Primary school. About 95.
Yeah, see, I was in year 1 in 95. No, I wasn't even in year 1. I was 2 in 95.
Yeah, you definitely weren't.
I was in nursery.
You weren't even in nursery.
I was in nursery. I was in the church.
No, we were Top Trumps was probably the go-to game at school.
Top Trumps, the original ones.
The original ones by Waddingtons.
Oh. Waddingtons or Warringtons?
Warrington. Warringtons, I think. I think
Warringtons
Waddingtons was something else.
Yeah,
I'll have to look it up.
I don't know. I mean, did you have Beyblades? We had Beyblades.
They were.
That's probably high school for you, was it?
Yeah,
Or college.
You're implying that I was clever enough to go to college first time round.
Oh yeah, true. Very true. I mean, we had Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh. Those were more done by the cartoon. Everybody watched the cartoon and wanted the cards.
Yeah.
So like when we played Pokemon, we didn't use the energy cards because that's not how it worked in the TV show. You didn't see them throwing balls of lightning or fire at their Pokemon to try and power them up. Yu-Gi-Oh was a bit different because it played as it was on the thing. And now I know we can go super nerdy here. We used to play Fantasy Warhammer back in the day.
Please explain yourself.
So this is before Age of Sigmar. This is the world that got destroyed in place of Age of Sigmar. So I played Khorne Demons. So this is back, the models were all metal. So I remember sticking.
I found them in antique shops before.
Yeah, they're in antique shops.
They're quite expensive.
Yeah. They're worth loads of money now.
They're probably full of lead and really bad for the environment. But
If I remember correctly, I'm pretty sure I left my entire collection in the Lincoln Games Workshop as so somebody could play with it when they came in, when I stopped playing originally.
Was that like your own decision? Like to go, look, I want to pass this on to someone else, or was it, shit, I forgot?
Even back then, it was really expensive. And I only had one friend that I played it with, and me and him fell out over a girl.
I was going to say, you still only have one friend.
Yep.
It's a different person, but you still only have one friend.
And that person still plays Warhammer-based games.
And it's definitely not me.
I'm
still trying to Google here who made Top Trumps.
Oh, we're still going on that?
Yeah.
Well, that might be one of the... That's not one of the quiz questions. That could have been a good quiz question. Who made... I think it's Warringtons. It could be Waddingtons, though.
Here we go. Waddingtons.
It is Waddingtons.
It is Waddingtons. Waddingtons.
Oh.
Waddingtons.
My bad.
It's a spelling bee.
It is your...
You can buy the Le Mans set.
Is that the one you have?
That's the one I have. That is still the original set that I have.
Nice.
$6.99.
And for all those people out there that, you know, are very particular about card sleeves, they're unsleeved.
Yeah, I need to start sleeving stuff. It is on my list of things to sleeve.
Yeah. That's how your child happened. Right.
Shh.
So, as an adult, you know, what kind of brought you back to gaming apart from, you know, hanging out with me after years of working together and never being able to get on the golf course?
And still suck on being on a golf course. No, I played years of PlayStation, really. I was more of a video games person, still am. But I just wanted to explore a little bit of a different world. Like a lot of video games now are board game.
Yep.
You know, Dark Souls, probably one of the biggest, most sought after board games now. It was one of the biggest video games back on the Xbox 360, I think it originally came out.
I think it might have even been before then, the first one.
On the first edition of the Xbox.
Obviously, and PC, we can't discriminate.
Yeah, we can't discriminate. We are all friends here in the gaming world.
Yes.
But yeah, just kind of, I wanted to explore if I get the same immersion.
Yeah.
From a board game.
Cool. I mean, yeah, I remember us sitting down after a game of golf once going, we can't just play golf all the time because it's really expensive.
Yeah, we were. Yeah, but then
we were
so are board games.
Yeah, but I do have a collection of nearly 200. You know, it's cheap for you.
It's cheap for me because I just buy them off Vinted or eBay.
Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, I mean, it's nice that you can come back into it as an adult. I mean, I kind of, after school, went away from board games. I did the same as you, computer games. PS1, PS2, PS3, and Xbox 360.
Did you have PS4?
PS4.
PS5?
I've got a PS4.
So you've had the full collection of PS?
Yes.
I missed out on the PS3.
Did you? See, we were lucky enough. My dad bought home a PS3 the same day my mum bought home an Xbox 360. And they both had the same game, so we compared them. And I don't know whether it was because I played the PlayStations previous. They just felt so much better for me. You know, there was a bit more of a rivalry then. I personally don't really see it as a rivalry much anymore.
So I remember my PlayStation 2 died a painful death.
Oh, yeah.
As they all did with the laser.
Did it melt?
No, the laser died and never read the game. So I was like, you know what? Go buy an Xbox 360 because I can play online for free. And PlayStation, you had to pay.
Yep.
You've always had to pay. So played Xbox 360. Still got an Xbox 360 somewhere.
Cool.
And I just ended up playing that religiously, and then they started charging for online content, and I was like, well, I might as well just go back to PlayStation because I think it's a little bit better, and I didn't want to spend all the money on the next generation of Xbox back then.
See, I stayed with PlayStation more because, especially going into PS3, I had more friends playing PlayStation.
Yeah, so you can play. Yeah, I was like that as well. Like, so I could play with my friends online as opposed to nowadays you've got cross-platform, so you can play with people on PC.
Yeah.
Where are you going?
I don't know. A chair just gave way.
They're off the
I'm not
burgers.
I wasn't really a massive online gamer. I'd rather have couch co-op. You know, me and a couple of friends to come around to mine, and we'd all play FIFA in the same room. So there'd be two people playing, the rest of us messing around.
Yeah, I kind of miss those days playing FIFA 94.
94. I'm talking like FIFA like 2010, and your FIFA.
FIFA 94, I think, was the FIFA International.
Oh,
that was the first one.
Was that before or after Red Card?
Hold on. I'm going to have to go on the world's most famous search engine again.
I mean, do you remember the game Red Card? I'm pretty sure.
I remember Italia 90 on the Mega Drive where it was top down.
Oh, wow, you are going back. I think the first FIFA...
Still got it somewhere.
The first FIFA game I played was on PC. And that was FIFA 2000.
2000, wow. Okay. So I got it wrong. The FIFA video game series.
I mean, I know this is a board game podcast, but here we are.
It's gaming. You sold this to me as it's a gaming thing. But
okay.
I'm going off on a tangent here. So, FIFA International actually started in 1993.
year I was born.
Yeah, I was old enough to play a video game then. FIFA 95 actually came out in 94. So actually, I got it wrong. It wasn't FIFA 94, it's FIFA 95.
Okay.
And then for some reason, FIFA 96 came out in 95. So it's always been a year.
Yeah, well, because it's like this year we get what FIFA.
Well, it's not called FIFA anymore, is it? It's FC.
FC, EAFC.
Yes.
25.
Yes. Yeah. So it does. Yeah, it doesn't really make sense. But anyway,
well, it's the end of the season, isn't it? Because it still runs through.
But we used to. I think FIFA 97 was the one that really, like, the biggest memories. I think David Ginola was on the front cover.
Oh wow!
In his
Ginola.
Newcastle kit, and we used to all sit around. We'd start a league, and there was like, right, next person, pass the control around, and yeah, you can't really do that anymore playing online.
No, I mean I have the same kind of memories, but mine's FIFA 2005. It was the last one where you could change the aim on the ball to make it spin, and you scored every free kick. But like you said,
FIFA Football 2005.
And if I remember correctly, the soundtrack for that game was incredible.
That was amazing. Can you remember who was on the front cover? Here's an early quiz.
What, of FIFA 2005?
Yes. Which 3 players were on the front of it?
I think, was it 04 was Henri? I remember there was one. It's Ronaldinho, Henri, and I want to say Edgar Davids, but that's not 2005.
No, that was 2004. That was Del Piero, Thierry Henry, and Ronaldinho.
Oh, Ronaldinho.
So
I don't know where I got Edgar Davids from. So the one after that. Oh, that's a tough one. Was it Ronaldo?
No.
As in, fat Ronaldo?
No, not half a haircut Ronaldo. No.
Oh, okay. I couldn't even remember. Shearer?
No, there was actually no English players.
On the front cover?
Yeah.
In England?
I'll give you a clue. There was a Frenchman. Was he Ukrainian? Could have been Ukrainian. And a Spanish player.
So was it Zidane?
No.
Henri?
No. Patrick Vieira.
Ah.
You got the club right, Arsenal.
Yeah. Was it Shevchenko?
Shevchenko. Yes.
And then the Spaniard would be... Oh, who would it be back then?
He looked a bit like Raul.
He looked like Raul.
Yeah.
But not Raul.
But it weren't Raul.
I want to say Puyol, but it's very wrong.
No. Fernando Monteres.
Huh?
Fernando?
Morientes.
Yeah.
Morientes.
I
think that was when he played for Liverpool. I could have got that very wrong.
I don't know, but he's got a Spanish shirt on, so he's not playing for Liverpool at that time.
No.
He was Real Madrid at the time.
Oh, was he?
Yes. According to Wikipedia.
I'm pretty sure he definitely came to us. I could have got that very wrong as a Liverpool fan, and I apologise to Liverpool fans for that.
You've just upset the whole Scouser world. Well done.
All 4 of us. Yeah. No. Apparently not, because it's impossible to get tickets. Yeah, so we went from that really. Actually, my reintroduction into board games was a couple of our friends who were a couple took us to which is now a very special place in my heart, which we will be going to very shortly. A place called Thirsty Meeples in Oxford. They said one day, they went, "Oh, just come with us, we're going to go for a couple of hours in Oxford." We went, "Oh, cool." So we went round. The next thing, we're in this board game cafe, 2,000 board games on the walls.
And they do food and beer.
Chai lattes, mate. I've had to find tablets that mean I can drink milk again. Because we went there the other day and had an oat milk.
And you say
one.
I'm old.
Oh, mate, I had an oat milk one. It was awful. No offence to Thirsty Meeples oat lattes, but they're just not as good without milk.
I do like an oat milk.
Yeah, but not a chai latte.
I'll give it a go.
You'd give most things a go.
Oh, yeah, I would.
So yeah, they took us there. It was quite eye-opening to see the amount of games. Beforehand, I was into the board game world, but not to the level that they had. It's actually the place where I bought my first board game as an adult.
What game was it?
Broom Service. We're yet to play that. Broom Service is by Ravensburger.
There it is. Sat right next to Jurassic Park Danger.
I'm not going to get it out and show you it because you're just going to laugh at me. It's about delivering potions. You're a witch and you have to deliver potions to wizards in castles.
I mean, that is actually quite a good precursor for most of your games.
It was just incredible. I mean, it was good fun. It was easy. There's a lot of card play to it. There's a lot of strategy. And the 4 times I got the rest of my family to play it, I lost every game because apparently I teach better than I play.
I'd agree with that.
Yep. So yeah, that was kind of the reintroduction. It kind of it bloomed from there. Like I said, I've got a collection nearly 200 now. I was lucky enough to work at the UK Board Game Expo, where you had the privilege of coming with us last year.
I did my first year this year. Yes, it was cramped.
Cramped was the
so
word.
They definitely need that extra hall that they've said they're going to have.
Yeah, I mean, I worked it as a demoer for Medusa and Moa Ideas games. Medusa games are the ones that the owner of Medusa runs the entire expo.
Mm-hmm.
Richard, lovely bloke. And I was demoing Great Fire of London.
Mm-hmm.
Incredible game. I taught it about 12 times a day for 3 days. Never got bored of it. It actually ended up being that way that me and my wife split across 2 companies. We were supposed to work for both, but she preferred the games from Moa Ideas and I preferred the Medusa one. So we ended up swapping, so I ended up doing the same game 12 times a day for 3 days, and it's still on my shelf.
And why haven't we ever played this?
We haven't. And the best way I can describe it to you is you're a housing developer during the Great Fire of London. You're trying to burn down everyone else's houses while saving your own. It's the only way I can describe it. It kind of plays that way, but like the fire moves every turn via wind cards and all this kind of stuff. It's really good fun.
Yeah, we should definitely add that to the list.
Yeah, I mean, we did that one in 9 Worlds. I don't think we've played that one as well. That's like a mythology one.
No, we haven't done that.
So yeah, I did that for 3 days. But at the end of the year I did it, we were invited back, and I had to turn around and say, no, I can't do it next year. And he asked why, and I was like, I want to come as a punter. And I've been every year since as a punter. And that's where
I think I'll be going as a punter every year now.
Yeah.
It's really good to go. Someone that's just fresh into it. It's actually really eye opening, and
yeah,
everyone's so welcoming and friendly. And there's that massive space where if you brought some games or you took games with you, you can go and chill out and have some food and play some games all the way like till midnight. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, it was crazy, wasn't it? I mean,
like most expos and conferences are like 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock. Out you go, off you go. But to actually stay there,
I mean, yeah, I think the Friday, because you came with us on the Saturday.
I came Saturday, yeah.
On the Friday, we were there till midnight. I mean, we did the Starship Simulator, which we're going to get you on next year. But like, you can stay until midnight. And when we worked it, we worked from 6 a.m. till close, and then when they play games till 4 a.m. in the rooms
that's a long
in the hotel.
That's a long time. Long
I was
time.
So dead, but that's now why I booked Mondays off after the Board Game Expo. But yeah, I mean, from there, I was lucky enough to playtest Hellboy, the board game, at Mantic,
which we've played.
Yeah, which is incredible. I'm lucky enough to be in the gaming manual, and the 3 people that I took with me are also lucky enough to be in the gaming manual. My wife had to miss that, unfortunately. That was through the crowdfunding services that we used to get it. So that was good fun. And going from there, just learning and talking to the playtesting company. It wasn't really done through Mantic. It was done by a couple called James and Sophie. I wish I could remember the name of their company. It's something Cat Games. It's like Sleepy Cat Games or something like that. I don't know if they're still going, and I apologise, James, if you ever hear this. But I went on to playtest a few more games for them through Tabletop Simulator on PC. And there's one game, I can never remember the name of it. And once again, if it ever got made and was finished, I apologise to the people that make it, but it was just a rip-off of Blood Bowl. It was...
How dare they?
They tried to change...
How absolute dare they?
I know, they tried to change it. But here we are, That's kind of where I was. Like, as an adult, what are you kind of into now? I know, was the Expo the first time you played Magic?
Yes. I didn't have a fucking clue what I was doing.
Well, and we threw you into a 6-player Commander game.
Yep. I mean, it made me want to go and buy a starter kit straight away. Really annoyingly, wish I'd bought the Assassin's Creed one again.
Oh yeah,
Video games. Now we're going into tabletop.
I think you can get the starter set still for £16.
Yes, I think you can.
I need to take you down to the local shop. We need to go down there one day and
Yes.
show you a few bits, because that's where I've just got a load of stuff for other card games. Obviously, there are other card games available.
There are many. We'll probably reel some off later.
Yeah, we'll go through.
Yeah,
some
I
of
kind of feel like at least having a card game that you're familiar with the concept in a way. So, like with Assassin's Creed, you know that people jump around buildings, things like that. So you know the limitations of that character.
Yeah.
Whereas Magic, I don't know any of the characters or any of the decks or anything like that. I don't even know how I build a deck.
No. So it's one thing. I mean, I've got a ton of cards from when we got into it a few years ago at the theatre, because I was collecting green, and then two others. One was collecting black, one was collecting blue. My wife was collecting red.
Yeah, so I've got a blue and a red set.
Yeah. And we, every time we opened a pack, we split them. No matter what cards they were, how rare they were, we split them and gave them to the people. And they're those colours. And I currently have a box full, so we can go through that. But you go into the theming of the game, I found it a lot easier to introduce people. I mean, our big ginger friend,
he shall remain nameless because he is big and ginger.
But he kind of got more involved over the Fallout,
Yeah.
Magic the Gathering Commander decks.
Yeah, see, to me it was a bit weird because like someone was playing with a Doctor Who set, someone was playing with a Fallout set. Can't remember. I think I had the Lord of the Rings set.
Yeah, the Lord of the Rings one, yeah.
But they all played together in one big game.
Yep.
And I'm actually surprised at how easy it was to play with different themes, but they all play the same way.
Yeah. I think the basic concept of Magic is incredible. I mean, it is the basis for nearly every other card game, trading card game.
It's one of the oldest. I think wasn't it like the first trading card game or something?
You may have just ticked off one of my questions, and that would have been, what was the first ever trading card game?
I want to say it was Magic.
That was Magic the Gathering.
But like 86 or something? 1986?
So I think it was even before then. It is the basis for Yu-Gi-Oh!
If you know, write in. Tell us.
Yeah, do, please. There may be a sticker in it if it's the first ever person to comment.
Yeah. We've only got a couple, so they're expensive.
Yeah, they were. It's the basis for Yu-Gi-Oh! It's the basis for Pokemon. And it helped grow everything, and it's still going. You know, they release 6 to 8 rotations a year, and it's mental.
Yeah, and they retire cards. So in a way, I feel like, well, if you're buying a game and then they retire that card, you can never ever use it again.
Well, lucky for you, you have a group of friends that have old cards. So when we played that massive game of Commander, my deck is technically in competitive, not a legal deck, because it's too old. It's out of rotation. Neil's was up to date. I think there was one other deck that wasn't up to date, and that was because it was the Dungeons and Dragons deck that's just gone out. Well, it had just gone out of rotation, I believe.
But do you not think that puts people out of sorts because they're constantly having to buy new sets because I've spent so much money in making this deck and it's an amazing deck. Now it's obsolete.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's something we'll go into when we talk about Magic a bit deeper. For which we will apologise if we make any faux pas in that we are not up to date. I am not a competitive Magic player.
And I know nothing.
For the exact reason that I can't keep up with the rotation. But it's been going that long, and there's that many people that play it that they're doing something right.
Yeah, they must be, or else they won't keep releasing.
Yeah, I mean,
all these sets.
You only have to look at other games we play. Warhammer.
Yeah.
You know, I bought in the last, going from 9th to 10th, I bought a rulebook that became obsolete within a month. You know, companies need to evolve. They need to change things. They need to earn more money. If you're just bringing something out, then you don't earn more money from it, really, do you?
I get that, but
it's done in a way that, you know, I know people that still play 3rd edition Warhammer. They're still playing Old World. It doesn't exist. Well, Old World now exists as a new game, but Fantasy doesn't exist anymore, really. I know people that are still playing it because the two people that play it have those rule books, and that's what they prefer.
Mm-hmm.
So, like when we play Magic, we can use any cards. I'm not talking about. I know there's restricted cards, but that's just for competitive play. If you can organise with somebody and say, look, because I think we started in core set 2020. It was the first set we got. We walked into a shop and they gave us a free 40 card deck to play test, and then we got to take it home with us, which is where we chose our colours. And actually, that's still the basis for my green deck, is that deck. But we've always been in the way that we're not meta, because all you're doing is trying to beat the other person.
Yeah.
So if you agree that I can use core 2020 cards, then you can use core 2020 cards. It shouldn't matter. I mean, Risen Reef was a big thing. I can't remember exactly what the card did, but it came out, and then 3 or 4 months later it was banned. But everybody I knew had it in their deck.
Because it was such a good card?
Yeah.
Or?
It's powerful. Super powerful. I will look up what that does.
To me, that's like having the best card in Top Trumps. You're always going to win with that card. You're never going to want to lose it.
Always.
Because you can't lose it anyway, because nothing will ever beat it.
As it shows, like the way that we played it at first, I built a deck to beat the blue player's deck, and the blue player deck built a deck to beat my deck. And that was it, because we were the only two playing it at that time. So we were literally just buying new cards to beat each other. And that was the way of it going.
That's the way they evolved then, I guess, into making money.
It's one of those. I mean, I've played Commander quite a few times, and I've played it with a bloke that spent nearly $2,000 on the deck. It's not worth playing against, for me, because his deck was mental. At one point, it was doing 194 damage a turn. And he was gaining life every turn, and it was just ridiculous.
I guess it takes the enjoyment out of the game then. Because whatever you do, you're not going to...
But when I played him again, it was because I knew that's what was going to happen. It was then trying to stop it that became the priority. Now, I much prefer playing Commander with a pre-construct deck. One, you don't have to do anything with it. And they're normally, not always, they're normally competitive against each other.
Mm-hmm.
There's a couple of rotations where they're not. There's a couple of rotations where there's new rules that no longer exist because the rule didn't work. But that was Magic. That is Magic. I mean, you got excited by it when we played it. Ginge played it, did really well.
Yeah. I think beginner's luck got me to that point.
Yeah, well, it helped because I was helping you. And the other person, like when you were like, I don't know what to do, what do these cards do? When you didn't understand certain words and stuff. So we were helping, which obviously hindered myself. But I'd much prefer, you to enjoy it.
Yeah, and then I knocked you out, and then you basically became my coach.
Yeah.
Which was quite useful.
And then the other new player also had somebody doing the same.
Yeah.
And it was to help you guys, so we didn't just go, here's 100 different cards. They all do something different because you can't have, apart from land, you can't have the same card in the deck. So here you go, just learn this in 4 minutes.
It was a strange concept because it was like every turn I had to put a land down if I had one. And I was like,
You didn't have to. It's helpful to.
Well, it's helpful
to a certain point, and that becomes
a land or a fire or whatever it was.
Mountains, lands, whatever. We'll see when we move into like Lorcana.
Mm.
It does roughly the same thing. You ink a card once per turn. But I was playing my 4-year-old daughter. But at one point I had 9 ink down because I'd put an ink down. But I don't have any cards that are more than 9 ink.
Mm-hmm.
And with the deck I built for that, I have spent money on Lorcana, unfortunately. I
spent very minimal on Magic. I've just got the start set. I haven't built to those decks.
That's because I'm going to hand you about 1,000 cards later on before we leave today, so you can have a look through and build a deck. But when we go to Thirsty, they've got pre-construct decks that we'll have a look at.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And obviously I think I have 7 now, so we're not short of a few. And the local gaming shop has a collection of about 20 that you can go down and play test. They're old, decks. We also have there's a website called Untap
Yeah.
where you can build it online for free and then play it online via Discord. But yeah, we can go into that. I mean, it was good to see one that I could teach Magic well, even not knowing it that well myself, and two, the enjoyment of actually. I think we played for 4 hours.
Yeah,
for one game.
Must have been 4.5 hours because we finished the gaming expo about 4, 5.
Yeah, I think we sat down at
We
4 or 5.
sat down a bit earlier because we were tired. And yeah, it was probably about 9, 10 o'clock by the time we got out of there.
That doesn't include time to go and get Subway though.
Well, yeah, because Subway was 3 miles away.
But yeah, it was good to see that. And I mean, I remember when we got you into Dungeon Bowl.
Yes, that has been a big game, and I'm sure we'll probably talk about that a bit more.
We will go into that
episode.
And once again, we will apologise for any faux pas we make in that episode. We play it the way that we've been taught it, and that's about it, really.
I'm that into it now that I am tempted to build my own terrain for it.
We do have to rebuy that box.
Yes, let's try and earn some money first.
Absolutely. Right. So I think that's enough about us.
Oh god, yeah, we've just spoken for 30 odd minutes about ourselves.
I'm just going to quickly, talk about the pod itself and how it came to be. I think because I don't think you know.
I have no idea. I was just told, do you want to come and talk into a microphone and we'll talk about some games that you know nothing about?
Absolutely.
Like, all right.
That's how this is going to work. So the podcast has been in my brain for about 2 years. I've been thinking about it, trying to get into the gaming world.
I mean, there are other things you can think about in life.
Yeah, but there's only so much I can think about my wife. I see her every day. But I was like, right, what can I do? And then I listen to a lot of podcasts in the job that I do. And I was like, I think I could do this. So, yeah, I listen to a lot of podcasts. And I thought, I could probably do this. I could talk a good game compared to how I play. As my board game stats app will show. So I was like, I could probably do that. And I spoke to somebody who I thought I could do it with, and it didn't work out. And I was like, you know what? I've got a good idea. Let's get somebody that knows not a lot about board games, but a lot about games in general, computer games, and modelling.
Not in the swimwear, I must admit.
Well, that could be the January of our calendar that we might release later on.
Pops modelling.
Pops modelling.
Here's what I made in January.
No, yeah, you're making models, your Airfix, or they're not Airfix models, are they?
No, Tamiya.
Tamiya.
I mean, Airfix. No, let's not discriminate. Airfix is still very, very popular.
Yeah. But you like building
but
cars.
I like building motor cars and motorbikes and. Yeah, not so much Warhammer because I put the heads on backwards.
You want to look at the eyes that I've painted on my Warhammer models, and you'll see why I don't paint eyes anymore.
I mean, you do have a model that I made here.
I do, yeah. Yes, is that Tamiya?
No, that was MSI, I think it was, which is a Ukrainian company.
And that'll be your Squid Game.
That would, but I did them as an alternative Squid Game.
Yes, dirty.
He is
dirty
he's
boy.
a bit of a rogue.
He's been here for, it's got to be close to a year now.
Yeah, I would say it's probably close to that.
He blends in really well with my Necrons.
He is the Guardian.
Maybe I use him as a Satan shard. But yeah, so I sat down and I was like, right, I've been talking to my wife about it. And we thought about doing a couples podcast, but no. Somebody has to look after my daughter.
It'd just be arguing as well, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it would be.
And she'd always be right.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Don't get me wrong, my wife's opinion will appear on here, and she probably will appear on here at some point. She's very particular about the types of games she likes, whereas Pops has an open mind towards games.
So I just know nothing and just go along with it. It's one or the other.
Yeah, I'm just a big bully, really, when it comes to games. Pops, we're playing this today. And put it down in front of the table and you don't really have a choice. That has stopped recently. You have started requesting games.
I have started thinking, okay, what have you got? Let's branch out a little bit more into what we've done.
Yeah, absolutely. So
previously.
when I finally decided I'm going to do it, it was quite easy for me to sit down and go, I know what it's going to be about. what do most people know me for, and that is a giant collection of board games.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, I don't have too much knowledge, but I've done quite a lot. I've worked with people. I was lucky enough to be on Tabletop Sim playing Frosthaven. And when I looked at the online names, there was a certain Mr. Childs, who is the creator of Frosthaven, playing alongside us. That was incredible. And I was lucky enough to do stuff like that. And I've known enough about games for now, really, at least to blag my way through. So I was like,
that's what we do in life. We blag. We just get through. And
that was half of our old job, wasn't it? If Gaffer doesn't fix it, then off we go.
well, yeah.
Gift of the gab. So yeah, it was, like I said, it was easy. I've got my topic. Next thing was I need a name. Now, I don't know if I've ever told you the story of the name of the podcast.
I have no idea where it come from.
So, my gaming group, when we worked at the theatre.
You said where we worked.
At the theatre. We said theatre earlier.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
When we worked at the theatre, we used to play a lot of games. Now,
when we had all that downtime,
yeah,
there was always a table in the middle, and if it weren't full with chicken and chips, it was full with a board game.
A board game, and then on our days off would be a substage playing board games. So yeah, I don't know what other people call it, whether they call it the game manual, the rule book, the instruction booklet. But the two people I played with called it the Book of Words. Okay.
The Book of Words. Is that because...
It took me nearly 2 years to work out they were saying the Book of Words, because what I thought they were saying was the Book of Worms. So hence, we are called the Tome of Worms.
But why Tome? What's the Tome?
Because book was a bit boring, and Tome's a bit more... You know, some of these board games have tomes. They're not booklets or, you know, pieces of paper. Some of them are novels. Tomes of books.
There are a few over there in the corner.
That would be D&D and Warhammer. So that's kind of where the name came from. The artwork that we have, and you'll see our logo was done by my very talented cousin. A link to her page, and I believe she has an Etsy, will probably be up in the comments as well. I gave her about 4 words of stuff that I wanted doing, and she created the...
Was it Tome of Worms Pod? Is that the 4 words you gave her?
No, I added that to the thing. So I added that to the sticker. That's what you consider.
So you just said worms, books, cards, and smoke.
I was like, yeah, it's called... I gave her the name, and I want dice, cards, books, and worms.
I do like the fact that she didn't just use 6s.
Yep. It's come out really well. We're very happy with it. But yeah, so that's kind of where it came from. And then I've been badgering you for what, 2 months to sit down?
Oh yeah, for this, yeah.
For the
2
podcast.
months, like, when are you free? When are you free? And like, I've just moved house. I've just had a child.
And I had no microphones.
And you had no microphones. So how could we record this at all?
So we got everything down, and now we moved you in.
Oh, moved in is quite a bit of a loose term.
We moved your
I'll turn up.
We moved your stuff.
We put it in one of the rooms and went...
I put it in the wrong room.
Yes.
Quite drastically. But yeah, and then here we are. I mean, all feedback is welcome. Please don't be too mean.
Yeah, be nice to the old man.
The main idea behind this was there's a lot of people in this space that like to give their opinion on something. Now, I like to give my opinion, but I also like to think I'm not biased. I'm not going to turn around and just go at a game because I think it's rubbish or tell you need to play a game.
I don't think that's constructive at all, really.
No,
I think it's just a case of
and the
just share the enjoyment of playing a game.
The golden rule of our podcast at the moment, Pops, is don't judge a game on one play.
Don't play a game like Axis and Allies over 2 days and not get a result.
Yeah, and that's why I played it a second time. Not with you, with somebody else. And it lasted 6 turns because I took Berlin.
Yeah, I went in the totally wrong direction. I was going towards Africa.
Yeah. But yeah, then we're here. Here we are. You know, this is my first time doing something like this.
It's my first time. Well, no, second time. I tried to do something in lockdown, and it never got any further than being on a laptop.
On a laptop. Is that still? Are they still around?
I might still have some of the recordings. Yes, it was a wrestling. We're going to do a wrestling podcast.
Ooh, I think we do need to try and get a hold of Rumble Slam at some point.
Yes, definitely.
I mean, I'm an old Attitude Era wrestling fan.
I'm Golden Era, obviously.
I mean, yeah. So
mine was Ultimate Warrior, whereas yours was Stone Cold.
Oh, Taker.
What would you go Taker over Stone Cold?
Oh, gotcha. Like American Badass Taker.
You are disappointing.
Oh, I know. But
anyway, I feel like we could do a wrestling podcast as well.
Oh, we probably could, but we're not going to.
Oh,
I don't know enough yet.
You know enough.
But, right, so I have for you, I think we're going to do it this way around. I have some quiz questions. Obviously, you've done one, so
whoa. Well, you're going to
four.
have to think of another one off the top of your head.
I can try that. It's going to start off, like I said, this is a gaming podcast, a board gaming podcast mainly, but gaming in total. And there's going to be as little mention of Monopoly as possible. I will be doing an episode on Monopoly, and we will go through how everyone plays it wrong and all the house rules.
That's not opinionated at all.
No, and all the house rules that are into place and how the game should actually be played. Because once I'd sat down with my family, who I'd been playing Monopoly with for...
I feel like we should play the DPD Monopoly just for comparison.
Oh, gotcha.
And I can finally get it on the table.
Yeah, absolutely. And then I sat down with my family who've been playing it for years and went, these are the rules. And they all went, oh, so it is only supposed to last an hour. Mm-hmm. Not finish and somebody get hit over the back of the head with a board and you find hotels and houses in your pants for the next 4 weeks.
Just always remember that a game is just a game, because at the end of the day, it goes back in the box and back on the shelf.
But all is fair in gaming and warfare.
Maybe you should have played Axis and Allies with your family.
Oh, God. I don't see my mum sitting playing that.
If you like Risk, it's quite a good game to play.
Absolutely. We recommend Axis and Allies, and we will be doing a deep dive into that. I just hope it's not as long as it took us to play and end in a draw. But yeah, right. So I've got some quiz questions for you.
All right. Okay. Set up. Here we go.
They're kind of your era-ish. I think maybe one of them isn't, but you know of the game, and I know you know of the game. So we're going to start off nice and easy for you.
Okay.
As the weeks go on, I'm going to get harder and harder.
So we're going to have a quiz pops every week, or every month, or every episode.
And then if you ever feel like you want to ask me some questions, then you can. Feel free to send us in some questions without the answers, and we'll see if we can get them.
Questions for pops.
Questions for pops. So the first one is, what game would you be playing if one of the characters is called Dr. Black?
Cluedo?
Cluedo, yes. As I say, it's kind of a trick question because he's not really a playable character.
No.
For those of you who don't know, and the American listeners out there, Dr. Black is the victim in the English version. Here you go.
You tried to catch me out there.
I did try to catch you out. Here you go then. Here's one for you.
Oh, here we go.
How many dice are in a game of Yahtzee?
5.
Yay. There you
Because
go.
I fucking love Yahtzee.
Okay. This is the one that I think is going to be a little bit harder for you. What game are you playing if the aim of the game is to cooperatively stop 4 viruses from creating epidemics while trying to find cures?
I want to say Pandemic.
It is Pandemic, yes.
And I've never played that game.
You haven't, but I know you know of it.
I know, yeah, because it's been on my list to buy for a long time.
Yes, absolutely. And we will go through your list to buy at some point.
And I almost bought it at the Games Expo, but it was too expensive.
I have, me and Ginge played through Season 1 Pandemic, which is the legacy version.
Mm-hmm.
And oh my God, does that evolve? And it was incredible. I mean, we spent ages playing it. But I do still have that on the shelf, so I actually have the finished game of that where all of the viruses have evolved, and one of them is actually super strong, really hard to get rid of. But that's that.
Welcome to COVID.
Yeah, boy. So you obviously answered my question about the first trading card game.
Yep. That was pretty easy, let's be honest. I mean, I'd be interested to know if Top Trumps came out. Well, Top Trumps wasn't a trading game as such, but it was a card game. So whether Top Trumps came out before Magic? I mean, Top Trumps is my main card game to go to. I have a collection of probably... Well, at one point I had a collection of over 50, which might not sound that many to some people. But when you're living with people and they're like, why do you have so many Top Trumps? It gets in the way. Now I think I'm just down to about 10 or 12. Bletchley Park is a good one.
Bletchley Park.
Bletchley Park. It's all about the code breaking and...
the code breaking one. I was like, what? Like
no,
landmarks in Bletchley Park?
No, as in Bletchley Park, where
yeah.
Enigma was
There you go then. I'll let you have 5 years either side.
Okay.
What year did Top Trumps originally get released? Do we think? Maybe even an era.
I'm going to get 88.
You're 10 years off. 78.
78. So it came out before Magic.
I would...
Because I want to say Magic was 86. What was the first ever Top Trump set, did it say?
I can check in a second. When did Magic the Gathering come out? Oh, wow. It came out way before. Magic the Gathering did not come out until 1993.
Really? I thought it was in the 80s.
I thought it was in the 80s as well, 93. So, Top Trumps was first published in 1978.
And I would imagine the first set would have been something like Cars or Planes or...
Apparently it's a very British game.
I think I've got a really old Premier League footballers one as well.
There's a picture here from the Fantasy Pack. And it's a picture of a dragon. Top Trumps. First Top Trumps.
Oh, the suspense is killing me.
I wouldn't even know. But apparently, Waddington's was not the original company.
Was it not?
No. Dubrek was the original company. There was 11 different packs when it first came out, Fantasy being one of them.
Oh, okay. So it wasn't just here's our first pack, everyone buy this pack.
Yeah. Series 1 in 1977. Subjects like cars, fantasy, bits like that. So yeah, that's that one.
Okay.
Staying on the theme of questions there for you, this is another date question. You can have 5 years either side.
Okay.
Now I know you know about this game.
Give it a go.
In what year did the original Escape from Colditz game get created?
I remember my parents having this.
Released.
I remember my parents having this.
No.
I would say 72.
Oh, wow, I'm impressed. 73. Obviously, we have the second, I think it's the second edition now. That's from Waterstones.
Yeah.
Obviously, this game is available from other retailers. And that has the original rules in, which I've always loved about Colditz.
I'd be interested to know if my parents still have the original Colditz.
It's worth some money.
I might have to go dig through their attic when I go over.
But yeah, they're all the questions I've got for you for now. I mean, we added the extra one with the Top Trumps.
Yep.
We'll try and find some other questions for you. I'd like to move on a little bit. Obviously, you've learnt about us a little bit. Now, you can tell a person by their favourite games. So this bit's going to be a little bit different for each of us because, obviously, I have close to 200 games.
And I have 5.
And 4
6.
of those are Monopoly.
No, they're not. One is Monopoly. One is Jumanji. One is Jurassic Park. DPD Monopoly. Yes, I have Jurassic Park Danger. Same one as you.
Danger.
High voltage.
Danger.
And I have just got Lord of the Rings Exit.
Exit.
Yep. Supposedly those games you only ever meant to play once and you can never play them again.
It's because you know what happens.
Oh, is that why they say
Yeah, it's an escape room.
Yeah.
So what you need to join our circle that we do, where we'll finish an exit game and then I'll hand it off to somebody else, and they'll hand them on to me. It's same for Unlock. They're basically escape rooms in a box.
Is that why Exit is so cheap to buy?
Yeah.
Makes sense.
And
Good way of gaming. Good speed gaming, in a way.
And if you haven't got time to go to an escape room, then it is. But if you don't know how an exit game works, don't start at the top level like we did.
Yeah, the impossible ones.
Yep, that wasn't fun. But we've played a few since, and they're okay. I actually have the Lord of the Rings one too. It is unwrapped, but I haven't played it yet.
Yeah, mine's unwrapped. I'd like to check yours out and see if it's the same as mine, because I got mine for £2.
The cards are numbered, so you can put it back in order.
Are.
Yeah.
I've sleeved mine.
Oh, I haven't sleeved mine. I don't sleeve those. That's wasted sleeves.
I've got the wrong sleeves, so I've got to use them for stuff.
I've got enough Magic cards and Pokemon cards and all that kind of stuff to cover my sleeves.
Anyway, should we tell people about the...
Yeah, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through my top 10 games of all time. Now, obviously, this list is subject to change, and it is my opinion, so please don't be upset that your favourite game isn't in there if you have favourite games. We're going to go through that, and then we're going to go through... I'm probably going to go through my top games right now of what I'm playing, and then we'll go through 5 games, I think we'll go with 5, that you want to play.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll do episodes on those and how your experience was of playing them the first time.
Yeah, and how easy it was for a newbie to pick it up.
Yep.
I think that's a good way.
That'll be a nice little section for all the episodes. Like, for instance, if we do Hellboy the board game, obviously I play tested it. So set up and playing it's a lot easier for me than somebody who hasn't played it before.
Mm-hmm.
So
let's do his top 5.
Top 5. My favourite game of all time is Gloomhaven by Cellofair Games. I'm not going to go through why right now because we're probably going to do episodes on them. My second game is Letters from Whitechapel by Fantasy Flight. Now, we haven't played that one. It's where it's a one versus all kind of game. One person plays Jack the Ripper. The
I wish your games were in alphabetical order.
They're in categories.
I wish they were in alphabetical order.
It's up there. My next game is Ark Nova. This is a new addition to my list. We playtested it one expo and was taught it in a certain way where we didn't quite understand. It's quite a heavy game as it comes to it. But then I played it a couple more times and oh my god, the amount of times I can try and get it on the table, but my wife hates it. It's not her type of game, so it doesn't come out very often, but when I play with other people that like board games, then it comes out quite a lot. My next one, and this isn't just because I'm in the instruction book or the Tome of Worms, and this is Hellboy the board game by Mantic. Incredible game. And then coming in at number 5 is Mansions of Madness 2nd edition, which we definitely need to get you to play. I believe one of our friends has the entire collection.
Let's go round. Let's have a play.
Yes. So that's my top 5 of all time. At the minute, I'm really enjoying Earth, Wormspan,
There's
Catapult.
quite a lot of worms going on.
No, this is like
in this
Verm.
podcast.
Is it Vermspan? I don't know. It's dragons, not worms. Catapult Feud, because I love playing that with my daughter, using catapults, knocking down castles. We'll play that at some point as well. Dystopian Wars, which is a tabletop game, which we will go into as well, and Flamecraft. They're quite good. My interest now is 5 games that you are looking forward to playing.
That I'm looking forward to playing.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, you've already said one of them.
Oh.
Ark Nova.
Ark Nova.
Ark Nova, yes. Just because it seems a very popular game. And I think that would... If a lot of people are playing it, there's obviously something worth playing in there. The other one is Azul.
Which version of Azul? Do you have a preference or all of them? I mean, I have 2 copies. I have the original, which is the mosaic floor,
Mm-hmm.
and the stained glass windows. They are 2 completely different games. Same concept, but different. But
I'd probably go the flooring one. Because I think that's probably one of the most popular games in the world. Is Azul.
It's quite, I mean, my wife likes it. That's normally a good thing.
That's a good sign.
My 4-year-old can play it as well. Not to a great level, but it's quite an easy concept.
Is it as easy as when we played Shopping List with her?
Oh, no.
When she beat me?
I forgot to put Shopping List on my top 5.
That was a good game.
It is a good game. I mean, it's all... can be quite strategic.
Mm-hmm.
It depends on who you play with. That's a theme in my gaming style. I play a game with my wife, and then it's a completely different game when I play it with the gaming lot that I play with.
Yeah. Other ones, I'm kind of looking around because they are mainly your games that I want to play.
Mm-hmm.
But I'd like to give Gloomhaven a go again, because it's just something that a lot of people play, and in a way you kind of feel like you're missing out if you're not playing games that a lot of people have knowledge about that you can't really be in the conversation.
Yeah, I mean, I do have Gloomhaven. We might have to have a look at how we play it. I do have it on the PC as well, because it went the other way.
It went the other way.
And got turned into a computer game, but that has 400 hours of playtime in it between the 3 people that I bought it with.
Wow.
So resetting it takes a very long time, but we can go through scenarios and do it that way. So Gloomhaven, Yep, good choice.
Catan.
Settlers of Catan.
Yeah. Again, probably one of the biggest games, probably one of the oldest games. It's been going for a very, very, very long time.
Did we not play that at the Expo? We couldn't get on, could we?
We couldn't get on. We couldn't get on for it, unfortunately. And probably, which one was it? It caught my eye earlier. That was it. Corridor. Yes.
The Pac-Man one.
The Pac-Man one. I didn't want to spend the money at the gaming expo, and now it's dropped in price massively.
It has. From certain distributors.
Yes. Some distributors are still charging full price, but
obviously everyone has their preference. If you would like your games late and battered, then a certain orange company can be pretty bad. But that's across the board. What I enjoy about Corridor, the Pac-Man one, is you can play the original Corridor.
Yeah, with the same.
And the Pac-Man.
That's a little bit like the Lord of the Rings Risk. You
Yep.
can still play the original Risk rules, but with the Lord of the Rings figures.
That's pretty cool. And it's a different map, isn't it, Lord of the Rings one,
Yep.
which is pretty cool as well. But yeah, that's...
But yeah, that was my I won't say top 5, but the 5 that I want to play at the moment. Like, I've played other ones like Fireball Island. Really enjoy playing Fireball Island. Really, really fun.
See, that's in my top 10.
Yeah. Yeah. It was a really fun game, really easy to play as well. And things like Hellboy card game, again, I prefer card games because they're usually a little bit quicker, and my attention span isn't always the longest. So, yeah, to play a card game is pretty fun, especially with it being Hellboy.
Absolutely. Yeah, and that's really good. I mean, I have a list of it's more games I want to buy.
Mm-hmm.
Most of them I haven't played, so we'll go into those at some point. One of our friends has just picked up a couple of them.
Yes.
So,
one of them is very similar to the name of this podcast.
But yeah, I think that's all. I can't talk about myself much more. I've bored myself.
You bored yourself.
Yeah.
I've got older as this has got on.
I mean, I thought you couldn't get much more grey, but it's happened.
I've grown a beard in the time that we started this.
But yeah, I mean, I hope that was okay for everyone. I mean, like I said, it's our first attempt. It is our first episode. We will improve, I promise.
And it can't get any worse.
No, and it will be more interesting coming forwards. Please let us know. Mainly, the main thing I want from our listeners, if I can be so bold as to ask, is recommendations for games for us to cover. There's a lot of people that cover a lot of board games. Becca being one of them. I like Becca. She does a lot. She dresses for the occasion. But obviously she has big backing. We do not. So if you want an honest person's opinion with a newbie's opinion thrown in, we will be playing all of these games a minimum of 3 times.
Yes. I think time allowing.
As much as your missus will let you play board games.
Yes. I'm just a casual player. This is the difference. I'm someone who'd be like, yeah, I want to go and play a game for enjoyment.
Well, I think we'll do it this way. I'll play it 3 times. And then we'll get the noob's opinion.
I think that would be quite good. I think also it'd be quite good to have a noob's opinion of solo board gaming as well.
Yes. I have quite a few solos. I don't play them.
I have no solos, but I'd like to try some solos.
Absolutely. We could always do it where you have one solo at one end of the table and I have another solo at another end of the table.
Yeah, that could work.
But yeah, going forward, we'd like to get some guests on as well. But we can get there and that as we go. Yeah.
Rome wasn't built in a day, or Tome
wasn't built in a day.
Wasn't built in a day.
And especially not by worms. But yeah, thank you very much for listening. We'll see you again soon.
At some point. Ta-ra.